Welcome back to the weekend wrap. No production, just my thoughts. As always, like and subscribe. And yes, it's a weird weekend if we're gonna be honest. Like there was three major cards on. Well, okay, I say major, I mean I guess major broadcast cards. You had two on the Zone. You had one on ESPN or Sky Sports over here on Friday. There was also a Showbox card, and I think there was a couple others. I know there's a Japanese card on tomorrow. Junto Nakatani and Kenshiro Taraji is on that card, so I'm going to see if I can get the old VPN out to watch that. But yeah, in terms of this weekend, it was three cards, but there was no like really blockbuster fights, no sort of real big standout ones. So I guess if you look at the DAZN card from Friday, it was topped off by Angel Fierro against Brian Zamaripa. That was actually a good fight. Obviously, it's Mexican Independence Day weekend or Mexican Independence weekend this week. So a lot of the cards were Mexican themed. You know, this is normally when you'd have Canelo fighting, but he's fighting 2 weeks instead. So yeah, probably would have been a good time to sort of have that card because it would have really overshadowed everything else that was on. But yeah, the Fierro fight. So I know Federico Pacheco Jr. He won his fight via KO. Every other fight on that card went the distance, surprisingly enough. There was two female cards. Two female bouts on the card. Sorry, you had Sky Nicholson. She was on one. Now she actually provided a good performance on this particular occasion. I didn't watch it initially. I had missed part of it, so I kind of went back to go and only because I'd heard something, and I'll touch on that in a moment. But yeah, I went back to go and sort of have a look at that fight. I watched about sort of the last 4 or 5 rounds. I have to go and watch the whole thing properly for the breakdown on Tuesday. But no, she performed a lot better than I've seen her since maybe her second fight. I think her second fight was the one where I thought, oh yeah, she's got something here, and then she just rapidly regressed into just being a very boring fighter to watch. But in this fight, now bearing in mind obviously she had height, reach and speed advantage over her opponent, and she, to be honest, and to her credit, she made it count. She put together punches in bunches, especially towards the end of the fight. Walked onto a few that she probably wouldn't have before. Maybe that's a bit of a trade-off of being a bit more aggressive, but overall I've got to say that it was a decent enough performance, and if she can build on that for future performances moving forward, she might actually be a fight that's actually nice to watch. Now obviously have to address the fact that her opponent's husband and trainer tragically passed away that night. He died in hospital after actually suffering a heart attack in the 10th round of the fight. Now some people obviously may have missed it. You can kind of see a commotion around ringside in sort of the last 30 seconds of the fight. Now the two fighters don't realize what's going on, but you can just see a bunch of people sort of walking around at the back. But if you actually look in the 10th round, you actually can see where the guy's obviously grabs his heart and then kind of keels over onto the floor with everyone kind of watching. And it's a bit of an unfortunate situation. I don't remember the name off the top of my head like right now, but even though I say no production, I'll put the name on the screen just as a mark of respect. But yeah, I guess condolences I should say. Can't really apologize for something I didn't cause, but big condolences to her. This probably now may be the end of her boxing career. I don't know if she'd necessarily want to go on associated with, I guess, a moment in her life that's, it's a hard one to take. So yeah, condolences to her. and family and everyone. And I guess that's not the nicest way to win a fight in those circumstances, or to even to be on the receiving end of losing a fight as such. So yeah, we'll park that one to the side and move on. Also on that card, we had Erica Cruz Hernandez against Melissa Odessa Parker, and I spoke a lot about this fight in the sort of in basis picks, probably a bit more than I should have. And in that response, I essentially said that I think Melissa Odessa Parker is a much better boxer, very fundamentally sound, and has really good punch variety and good placement. But I just felt that the work rate of Erica Cruz would ultimately just be Melissa's downfall, and in this particular fight, that's exactly what happened. Now, if Melissa had employed a lot more straight punches, she may have been able to get to the target a bit quicker than Erica, but she just kind of got overwhelmed in a lot of the rounds by just flurries from Erica. And whereas Erica, I think, is the naturally bigger woman, even though obviously I've heard that Melissa in the amateurs competed at higher weight than where she was in the pros. Like in the pros, she's a bantamweight, and Erica was always a featherweight. So to have this fight at super feather, realistically, was only gonna benefit the person that's naturally, sort of, I guess, that bigger, thicker person. But to Melissa's credit, like she hung in there all 10 rounds. She hurt Erica a couple times. She got hurt a couple times herself. I think I had it scored 97-93 to Erica Cruz. I think I gave Melissa the 4th round, the 8th and the 9th. I think those are the only ones I gave her. There was, you could maybe make argument for the 1st round as well, but generally speaking, yeah, the only rounds that I think were definitely her rounds were the 4th and the 8th. The others, could have easily been swing rounds, or there was all Erica Cruz just by work rate and just landed punches. So it would be nice if maybe Melissa can get something out of this, a new deal, or maybe be brought back on another Matchroom show to face someone else, to sort of have a platform now to finally be built correctly, because that's the one thing that's been lacking in her career over sort of the last 3 to 4 years. I'd like to see her come back to Twitter as well, or X. I know it's not the greatest of places, but it was good. It was good, and I used to talk to her on there and on her Instagram. So yeah, hopefully she can make a comeback. We'll see what happens there moving forward. But Erica Cruz now is looking to face Myling Rivas at 122, and then I'm assuming if she beats Rivas, then there may be a unification with her and Ellie Scotney down the line. So we'll see. Angel Ferrero against Brian Zamaripa. Now that was actually a good fight. I thought that Fierro would maybe win a late KO, sort of. I think I said rounds 8 or 9. It was a 10 rounder, but yeah, in that 10th round, it's almost like Angel Ferrero, he threw everything into it, and he actually hurt Zamaripa like really badly, to the point where you thought he was going to get that stoppage, but Zamaripa weathered the storm. And to be totally honest, it's funny, the scores, it was a split decision win for Fierro. It was 96-94 both ways, and then it was 96-95 to him. Now I actually had the fight a draw, so it's so that 96-95 card, there was clearly, they gave a 10-10 rounds in there and said, okay, well, yeah, we're gonna do sort of 6 rounds to 5, so to speak, in a 10 rounder. But yeah, I scored it a draw, but it was a very entertaining fight. The Mexico cards, you know what, they're always very low profile. People always seem to poo-poo them, that they're, like, is this what I'm really paying money for these no-name Mexicans that I've never heard of? But their fights, their cards always deliver some good action. So that was a good one. In terms of the top rank card, I haven't watched the entire thing, but I did see obviously Yocasta Valle against Maria Santizo, and the one thing I will say is I do think Yokasta Valle won the fight, but the scorecards for Golden Boy, I mean, sorry, no, Yokasta Valle's Golden Boy the following night. All right, forget that. That card, the only fight I saw was the main event, because I actually missed the card. It didn't record on my box. I didn't get a chance to watch it. Now I know Xander Zayas won. Haven't seen it yet. I'll need to go back to there. So let's talk Luis Alberto Lopez versus Joet Gonzalez real quick. Yeah, so my prediction, I did say that I felt that Luis Alberto Lopez would do enough sort of through the first half of the fight, and then Joet Gonzalez will sort of take over the back half, but Alberto Lopez will do sort of just enough to kind of scrape by with a decision. I was predicting sort of maybe a 115, 113, 116, 112 type situation. And yeah, that the fight played out exactly as I thought it did. The scorecards weren't reflective of that. Only one scorecard was 116, 112. Now, to be honest, I think Joet Gonzalez did better than that. I think he actually, probably realistically, you could actually given it a 114 at the very worst, maybe 115, 113 to Luis Alberto Lopez, but quite possibly you could have had it the other way as well. There was a 118, 110 card and a 117, 111. I didn't see either of those, so yeah. But I know Luis Alberto Lopez is clearly being primed for some form of unification. So that's pretty much all I can say on that one. Now, moving over to the Golden Boy card, which is what I was just talking about. So Yokasta Valle and Maria Santizo. One thing is for sure, on a Golden Boy card, if you are the B-side, you do not get any consideration for rounds. The scorecards was, I think it was one judge had it 100 to 90 and the other two had it 99 to 91, all for Yokasta Valle. Like, those scorecards were horrendous, all three of them. I remember watching in the very first round, Yokasta Valle got badly wobbled and rocked all over the place for, I think, about 30 seconds of a 2-minute round. So 120 seconds, about 30 seconds of it, she was, looking like she was out on her feet to a degree. She had to hold on in the interim. Kind of composed herself a bit, but obviously didn't win that round. And then there was quite a few other rounds that sort of went like that. Now, Yokasta Valle did control a lot of them and obviously hit with cleaner shots in quite a few rounds, especially in the middle of the fight. With Santizo maybe sort of coming back towards the back end, but Yokasta finishing strong at the end. But I didn't score it round for round, but I had it a lot more of a 96, 94 type. I saw 4 rounds quite comfortably that Santizo to me won. So for her to not be given that consideration is really, really poor officiating. And Sanisa Estrada, as good as she is, she's had a couple of those, especially when she was on Golden Boy. She's had it on Top Rank as well, to be fair, but on Golden Boy she's had a couple of those where she's given rounds that she was losing quite clearly. So yeah, but that's that. Then obviously William Zepeda against Matsuto Hester. I did predict a stoppage by in that one. I can't remember what round I predicted it in, but I think it was stopped in the 6th, and it sounds about right. I probably had somewhere between 6 to 8. But yeah, I said he was there. He seems to be the tune-up fight of choice for Golden Boy with their 135 pounders. It was just a marking of time fight for William Zepeda. So hopefully we'll see him in a much better, more competitive fight in his next one. But overall, that's pretty much all the stuff I watched. Like I didn't actually watch any card all the way through except the DAZN card on Friday. So I've got a little bit of research to sort of do for the others, and I want to see the some of the Showbox card if I can. I think there was also something that was on Fight TV as well, so I'll see if I can maybe pick up a bit of that. I know Jerry Forrest was on one of those. But yeah, There was a few other story things to kind of talk about, but I think I'll save that for an episode, and I might just put the episode out tomorrow, or I might do one a quick episode for Tuesday and then do something else for Wednesday. But I'm gonna leave that one there because that's pretty much the weekend wrapped up. It wasn't like a big weekend for the UK at all. Like, all of these cards were, you know, after hours, so I wouldn't be surprised if you guys haven't watched it. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, and we'll continue this at a later date. But for now, this is the weekend wrapped up. Thank you guys for watching. Some good stuff will be coming up this week and the weekend following, so we'll get into that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.